and welcome to my space, my kitchen. I'm so glad you guys could join me today on another epic food prep. If you remember on last week or a week before, I prepared some ground beef or hamburger patties. They were called Think Out of the Box hamburgers. They were definitely a Think Out of the Box hamburger. We did prepare those, and of course, I respect those who don't want to be videoed. So we prepared them on 3 different occasions, and they were really good. I prepared the first one, and of course, I'll wait and I'll try it again to make sure that my taste buds aren't playing tricks on me. We prepared them the second time. They were very good. And then for the third time, we had someone visiting, and we prepared them, and they also liked them as well. All right, so those were definitely a hit. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare ground turkey, which, as you know, I do turkey, chicken, fish, and occasionally I'll do ground chuck, ground beef, or maybe steaks every now and then. But I like ground beef, so I'm going to do, ground turkey. So I'm going to do some turkey burgers, right? I'm going to prepare them a different way because I've somewhat modified the recipe. And if anybody who cooks with turkey knows that you have got to season the turkey meat because it is so bland. Or everyone will either hate it or everyone's going to like it. So if you season it right, it's always going to be a hit. So today I'm going to prepare some ground turkey burgers, and I'm going to prepare them and of course store them. And this is going to be for whenever I come home and I don't feel like preparing a full course meal. I can pop them in the oven and I have turkey burgers, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the meat to the bowl. And of course I have 2 pounds of ground turkey, just like I did with the ground beef. Now, before I put the gloves on, I'm going to mix the meat. I'm going to go ahead and add everything that I have prepared. So what I did was I took 2 fresh garlic cloves and I cut them up and mixed them, if you would like. And you can saute the aromatics if you would like. I'm not. I cut these up fresh. I'm going to incorporate it into my meat because, again, this is turkey meat, and I'm going to let it cook in the oven instead of frying it on top of the stove. So then the aromatics, they'll be somewhat roasted, and they'll cook, and all of the juices and the flavors will blend and add more flavor to my meat. So then I did roughly about 3 tablespoons of chopped bell pepper, and I did use the green. If you like to use more or less, you may do so. I used the Vidalia onion. I used about 2.5 tablespoons I had a small onion, so it's about half of an onion. So if you would like to use more or less, you may do so. I cut up about a tablespoon of the scallion, which is the purple onion. And the reason is because once they're done and I prepare them, I'm going to cut the scallions into rings and I'm going to place them on the buns. So they're going to be part of the garnishment for the burger, right? So if you don't want to use any of these or more or less of any of them, you may do so. And also, I cut up 2 fresh green onions. I'm going to incorporate that in as well. So this should add a lot of flavor. All right? So now, I have all of the aromatics added in. I'll just slightly mix the meat, mix everything in. Whenever you're adding anything, you always do it based on your like or dislike. Okay? And now that I have these mixed in, I'm going to add my seasoning. Now, the first thing is my favorite garlic and herb seasoning. And this is like a secret ingredient here. This adds a very nice, because it has a lot of ground herbs. Okay? To this one, I'm going to add ground pepper, and this is black pepper, and I'm using the coarse. If you want to use fine, you may do so. And we like pepper, so you can never have too much pepper. I'm going to add in just a dash of cayenne pepper, just a dash, or 2, or maybe 3. Okay? I'm going to add some garlic powder. And again, these you can do 2 tablespoons, or you can tone it back. It's up to you. I'm also going to add some onion powder. And I'm not going to add too much of this seasoning because I have 2 secret ingredients now. So again, you don't want to add too much because you don't want to over season your meat. Okay? So now I've got the seasoning in. As far as salt, I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. And I usually don't, but with turkey meat, you've got to add some flavor. So I'm just going to add like a pinch of salt to it. All right. The next ingredients that I'm going to add are going to be Worcestershire sauce. And with the Worcestershire sauce, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. I have a tablespoon somewhere around here. Okay. Shake it up. It's been sitting on the shelf. I should have just opened the lid, but oh well, too late. All right. And this is 2 pounds of meat. 1 tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the Dijon mustard. More or less, depending on your taste. So now I'm going to mix this up. Can I get the little bit that's in here? Really well. Make sure everything gets evenly incorporated into my ground turkey meat. I think I mentioned this recipe in the last video. There's one on the back of like some of the onion soup packs, but I've taken them and I've modified them. I've added like the Dijon mustard to it, and also the next 2 ingredients, because that one only calls for the onion powder. Okay. So I got this all mixed up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 pack of the onion soup, and this time I was able to find a Lipton onion soup. So I'm going to add 1 pack, and this 1 pack is about 2 tablespoons if you measure it out. Or maybe a little more. Let's just see here. Maybe about 4. Okay, so that's 1. Yeah. 2. So roughly about 3 tablespoons and a few little crumbs. All right, so use a whole pack of the onion soup mix. And I'm gonna mix this up, make sure that everything gets evenly distributed and it's uniform mix. Everything gets incorporated together here. All right, now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the ranch seasoning, okay? So I went and bought the actual Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning, right? It's the same as what's in the pack when you buy it in the little packs. But I just bought this because I can, now that I like the recipe, I can use it. And I don't have to keep running to the store to get the packs. All right, so now I'm gonna add the same amount of like ranch, and that's why you don't want to season it too much, because as you know, these seasonings, they do have sodium in them. I try to get the low sodium products because I don't really like cooking with salt. So I'm gonna add the same amount of ranch as I had for the onion, which is 3 tablespoons. But you can add more or less depending on your taste buds. Okay? And I just put a little meat on the spoon and I put it in, twist it around in my measuring spoon, and I get the remaining out. Right? That's the tip of the day. How to remove the excess. You want to make sure that you got everything in. You don't want anything clinging to your spoons. All right. And this has, just like the ground beef, it has such a nice aroma to it. It smells so good. All right, so now I have this all incorporated together. All right. And it's very hard to do this with gloves on, but we're going to try it. Somewhat difficult. Even if you put cold water on them, it's still a task. And I mean, I always wash my hands before I start, but you know, you try to be as sanitized as you can. All right, so now you want to take your hand and you want to again just fold it in. And this again helps to make sure, if anyone out there knows how your grandmother used to make hamburgers, they would always hand pat it and they would always fold it and fold it and fold it. That just makes sure that all of the seasoning gets very well incorporated. You don't want to get a piece of it. It tastes like it's bland, and then especially with ground turkey. All right. So I think we've got everything mixed in well together. So now I will start rolling these patties out. The same as I did with the ground beef. It's nothing special. You just take out as much as you want. Now I will say that I was instructed to do, the last time, to do the larger size patties, and then when I made them, I was instructed that they were too big. All right. So with that being said, I'm just gonna make these regular, the way I usually would do it. Just a regular size patty. Just enough to cover the bun. And I know they're gonna shrink a little, but that's okay. Not that much. So just a regular size hamburger. And this is, again, is a turkey burger. The thinner the burger, the better they are, because you get to add all your garnishments and you get to actually savor all the different flavors. When you have your, like with these, I'll either do spinach, or if I have, if my sprouts are ready, I'll do some sprouts on the bun. And as I said, I'll do the scallion. And then we'll, I don't like tomatoes, but for those who like it, we'll add some fresh tomatoes. And there you have it. That is the prep of the day. I took the recipe that I was given and I have somewhat modified it, and I also took a recipe off the back of the onion soup box, and I modified it, of course. I left some things out that they require, and then I added some different things different seasonings that I like. And now I have everything mixed in well together. And I'm going to just sit here and roll these out. And then once I have them rolled out, I have now purchased, instead of just using the whole sheet of saran wrap, which I really like it, I actually bought the patty paper squares, which you'll see here, which I'm going to put each hamburger or each turkey burger on a separate or individual patty paper square. And then I'm going to store them in a container in the freezer until I'm ready to use them. I have to get another glove now. Until I'm ready to use them or to prepare them for a meal. Right. So that's the prep of the day. I won't keep you on while I roll all of these out and store them, because you know the routine. If you are a subscriber, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I greatly appreciate you coming along with me on this journey. If you just happen to drift by for whatever reason, thanks for joining us. I hope there's something that you like that will inspire you to subscribe. If you have a comment, please leave a comment in the comment section below, positive or negative. As far as the positives, I will respond. Negative, I stroll right past you to the next positive. I've been cooking for a while. I have my own way of doing things, and like I said, this is my kitchen, and I prepare things based on my taste and the taste of the people that I serve. I don't need anyone I don't desire anyone telling me, how to modify the meals that I prepare, because I prepare them for a reason, because we're accustomed to them. If you would like to modify them in your kitchen, do so. Post a comment below and let us know how your modification of any of the recipes I have turn out with your family. Take a screenshot, send it to us. That's fine. It's all welcome. I just don't want you to make suggestions to me, because I will try your recipes. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll try them. But when you're used to doing things and people, it's kind of hard to change, when people are accustomed to certain things. So, but nonetheless, I'll give it a shot. But I don't want you to tell me when something I use is organic or inorganic, because I'm aware of whether it's organic or not. I am a chemist. So when I say I use pure cane sugar that is squeezed from fresh cane, that means that it's the brown sugar. If I use white granulated sugar, in the recordings I always specify white granulated sugar. I'm very detail oriented when I explain what it is that I'm using in any of the recipes that I use, because as I said, I cook for a lot of different people. I have a lot of different requests, and I aim to please. Only when I'm cooking for myself specifically do I use a lot of organic products, because a lot of people don't believe things are organic, which is fine. And when I say I'm using cane sugar or pure cane sugar, because a lot of people think when you say cane sugar, they just read the Domino bag and it says pure cane sugar. But of course, it's white granulated sugar. Pure cane sugar is the brown sugars that have not been sent through the chemical process where it converts it from the brown to the white, and then they bag it up and they just stick pure cane sugar, which is very misleading. They should take the pure off of the Domino's bag, because it's not pure cane sugar from a chemical standpoint. The pure cane sugar, if you go to any store, Whole Foods, you'll know that, and it specifies that it's raw, okay, and it's the brown, or not the confection sugar, not the light brown or the dark brown sugar that you buy, but this is like cane sugar, pure cane, and it says raw and unfiltered, because that is the original sugar that's from the squeezed juices from a cane. The cane sticks. All right, so enough on the ramblings, just clarifications. Thanks again for stopping by. I greatly appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so that any new recording that I have, you'll see it first. As soon as you're notified, you'll be able to view whether it's a cook, a prep, or a bake. Thanks again for coming along with me, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Be blessed.